This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Make us a small difference.
Very little difference in most consumers.
I wouldn't get used to it. That's because prices are likely to go back up.
A summer vacay for your wallet? The tax holiday on fuel begins today, but will it really make a dent in your expenses?
I don't want to see parades canceled. I don't want to see Buccaneer Days canceled, because if we start canceling them, they won't come back.
Changes to parade security requirements and the number of volunteers needed to deal with them forces the cancellation of Esquimal's Buccaneer Parade. Plus, Adam finds out why a man looking for love for the last time is blowing dandelions for the first time. Later on the Sawatsky sign-off. Good evening and thank you for joining us. A summer tax holiday has officially begun across Canada. Starting today and running through the summer, the Carney Government has paused federal fuel taxes, which should result in a 10-cent drop at the pumps. CTV's Brendan Strain explores what this means for island drivers and whether it'll make a difference on your monthly bills.
With the price at the pumps now down roughly 10 cents per liter, islanders are getting a break on fuel.
It'll make us a small difference. I have a newer car, so I have a hybrid.
Others say the tax break isn't cutting deep enough in difficult financial times.
Is it going to make any difference in your life?
Not for me personally, no.
Very little difference in most consumers. Okay, it's not much.
At this gas station in Colwood, fuel was sitting at nearly $2 per liter. Esquimal saw prices of nearly $1.97 per liter, while in Nanaimo, it was $1.94.9.
But I wouldn't get used to it. That's because prices are likely to go back up.
Dan McTagg with Canadians for Affordable Energy says on Sunday, the world saw a bit of a decrease on the price of oil on news the Strait of Hormuz reopened. Then that opening was quickly reversed.
The world's short a billion barrels of oil, and many of storage facilities are starting to run down. So we're starting to see prices go back up a little bit.
McTagg expects to see a 5 to 10 cent per liter jump at the pumps by the end of the week, wiping out today's tax holiday. He does say any savings are welcome, though.
Look, it's one tax of many that is contributing to the much higher price. And I've always said the GST, which is 5% compounded on the increased price, is perhaps the area we should have targeted.
I think the provinces should take less. Okay, they can reduce the taxes that they're taking.
So far, BC has not joined the federal government in offering a break for consumers.
The long-term solution to the cost of driving is going electric.
Clean Energy Canada says two things have happened, which is making the cost calculus of purchasing an electric vehicle more attractive.
One, gas prices have gone up, but at the same time, the federal rebate of $5,000 also came back.
The think tank says it expects EV sales in Canada to climb throughout 2026 due to those two factors.
I mean, nothing drives people like their wallets.
Ottawa's freeze on the excise fuel tax will reach all the way until September. The question is now, in volatile economic times, will it really make any difference for those who must return to the pump? Brendan Strain, CTV News, Victoria.
Inflation numbers are out and not much relief for Canadians. The data reflecting the effects of the war in Iran. In March, gas was up 21%. Statistics Canada's biggest monthly jump on record. And it helped to drive up overall inflation to 2.4% in March, still below what economists had forecast. At the grocery store, food prices also rose, up 4.4%. Fresh vegetables were up almost 8% compared to last March, the biggest increase in more than 2.5 years.
It'll affect every household, but lower income households, a bigger proportion of their total budget goes towards food. So this is particularly harmful.
StatsCan mentioning cucumbers, peppers, and celery were up notably because of production challenges in some supplying countries. Prices for food in restaurants grew at a slower pace, up 3.2% in March. Another about-face from the Premier on a controversial piece of legislation. David Eby is backing away from suspending parts of the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples Act.
Well, this has been, if I can speak frankly, probably the most challenging issue I've worked on in government.
Eby faced backlash from First Nations over changing DRIPA and now says in a joint statement with the First Nations Leadership Council that both sides will work together and find solutions before the fall legislative session. Eby originally said changing DRIPA was non-negotiable because a December court ruling on BC's mineral claims regime put the province at significant legal risk. The family of a Vancouver Island boy struck and killed by a vehicle while skateboarding says a group of mourners had a close call last month. A speeding car coming uncomfortably close while they were honoring their son at his roadside memorial. As CTV's Andy Garland reports, the family is once again speaking out, calling on the local municipality, police, and the province to make rural roads safer.
Panic sets in as a vehicle speeds past a crowd of people, narrowly missing them during a memorial event.
And in that moment, we thought it was a person that was hit.
Just reckless disregard for someone's life.
And this car was coming right where that black truck is right now.
Karen Amatia captured the video and says what took place hit too close to home.
It was a traumatizing event in the spot where Xavier was killed.
The incident happened last month when family, friends, teammates, and neighbors gathered at the spot where 12-year-old Xavier Razul Yankovic lost his life. That day would have been Xavier's 13th birthday.
I felt like I was witness to what happened the night that my son's life was taken.
The exact same scenario.
Xavier was killed in August. He was rollerblading with his brother, getting ready for the upcoming hockey season.
It's never going to bring back my son. The message is that more people will die if something isn't done about this.
Xavier's parents are pushing for new legislation called Xavier's Law, which has passed second reading and would give police the ability to immediately suspend someone's driver's license for 30 days after recklessly driving.
And then that incident has to be reported to the superintendent of motor vehicles, who can then determine a longer prohibition on driving after that point.
The community where this tragedy took place would also like this gravel road closed to prevent drivers from accessing and speeding down Hillbank Road.
People who want to speed, this is a kind of a speedway because it is a long, straight road.
Every Monday since Xavier's death, people continue to gather and remember him where his life was taken way too short. Andy Garland, CTV News, Cowichan Valley.
The district of Tofino is making history by banning the sale of single-use plastic water bottles. The rule applies to water bottles that are 1 liter or less and goes into effect Wednesday, which is Earth Day. Council made the amendment to its single-use item regulation bylaw last summer and wanted to give local businesses time to sell their existing inventory. The district says plastic bottles are one of the most common items found during shoreline cleanups. Several Canadian municipalities have imposed restrictions on selling plastic water bottles in civic facilities, but Tofino says it's the first to ban selling them entirely.
Perhaps the reason that we're first is because we're on the front line. We see plastic garbage in the ocean. We see it in the landfill. We see it on the beaches. And so we're acting not to be first, but because we have to. And we have our entire community, business community, and visitors behind us.
For those who forget a reusable bottle, the district says people have access to drinking water through public facilities, water fountains, and businesses that offer free refills. A beloved community tradition in Esquimalt won't be happening this spring due to new rules around security and public safety and a lack of volunteers. The Buccaneer Days Parade, a springtime staple in Esquimalt, won't go ahead in May. The festival, however, along with the carnival rides, will go on as normal. Organizers say it's been difficult to find a volunteer coordinator to run the parade and work in new safety rules. Organizers are optimistic this is just a one-year pause.
We have tried for the last few months to try and get volunteers to come forward because the regulations for the parade have changed, and I have 5 other executives on my committee, and they don't have time. The parade is a huge project to take on. So we put the request out. We haven't heard it from anybody.
Organizers of the Victoria Day Parade say it will go ahead as usual following the new security measures, which came in as a result of the Lapu Lapu Festival last year in Vancouver, where 11 people were killed after a car drove into the crowd. Those new safety measures are adding to the cost, with both the Victoria Day and Santa Parade seeing a $40,000 increase in security.
I don't want to see parades canceled. I don't want to see Buccaneer Days canceled. I want to see them maintain their, identity and stuff. And these parades are the heart of our community. And what I fear, and I know a couple other people too, is if we start canceling them, they won't come back. And then we lose the very essence of, who we are, the city of festivals.
Curta worries without funding help from the province, both Victoria parades could be in jeopardy for 2027 as the costs become too much to bear. A much-needed healthcare service is moving into Esquimalt, making it easier for people to access hearing care. Hearing Life, one of the country's largest hearing centers, has leased a storefront in the Chartwell building, a seniors' residence on Admirals Road near Esquimalt Road. The township says it has one of the highest concentrations of low-income seniors in the region, and easier access to health service is vital.
This is a service that we don't have in Esquimalt yet. Councillor Boardman and I have been putting together a matrix of what services we have. So this is significant and complementary. It is a group that have a relationship with the Legion as well in terms of offering services. So really fitting.
Desjardins says, among other health services like doctors and nurse practitioners, the community needs psychological services and more support for seniors. Council will be discussing these issues from the health needs assessment at tonight's meeting. Services back to normal at BC ferries today following a police incident that halted traffic at Horseshoe Bay for most of yesterday. While the drama unfolded, incoming ferries had to hold outside of Horseshoe Bay. Many stranded passengers gathered in the park adjacent to the terminal as they waited to set sail. The delays impacted travelers between Horseshoe Bay, Bowen Island, the Sunshine Coast, and Nanaimo. Some foot passengers were able to take advantage of water taxis to get to Bowen and Langdale. Vancouver Island's first wildfire of the season is under the microscope of RCMP investigators. The Coastal Fire Centre says a small blaze was discovered on Saturday near Horn Lake in the Mid-Island. An initial attack crew of 4 was rushed to the area and have since gained control of the fire. BC Wildfire says the flames started as a result of a vehicle fire and have passed on their investigation to the RCMP. A spectacular 20 degrees. Could these warm temperatures stick around? Josh has the full forecast after the break. An amazing weekend, Josh. Hopefully that sticks around for the rest of the week.
It was a really warm weekend. In fact, a record-tying and record-setting weekend for parts of the island. Comox tied the record from 1915, 20.0. Port Hardy broke the old record by a little over 2 degrees. That goes all the way back to 1950. It was warm in Victoria as well. 20 degrees for a daytime high, although the record for the 19th of April is 23 from 2016, so not quite a record yesterday. We'll see some cloudier skies, slightly cooler temperatures, and some rain for tomorrow. Here's tomorrow morning. You can see that rain getting set to push in, and that'll stretch all the way north into the Comox, Tofino regions. Port Alberni gets some rain through the day tomorrow. Looks like it should taper off by the time we hit the evening hours, and then for Wednesday, mainly sunny skies across most of the island. In the north, you'll get missed by that rain tomorrow, but you'll see some clouds, mostly cloudy, about 12 degrees. 14s with mainly sunny skies for Wednesday, Thursday, and still under some sunshine Friday. Look at temperatures warm up to mid to high teens towards the end of the week. 20 in the Port Alberni region tomorrow. Chance of some showers through the afternoon, then back to sunshine for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and daytime highs stay in the low 20s middle to the end of the week, way above that average high of 15. Out of the west coast, chance of showers from Tofino south through the afternoon tomorrow, 12 degrees for a high. Still cloudy on Wednesday, but sunshine comes out for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and temperatures get close to 20 to close the work week. In Comox, Chance of showers tomorrow afternoon, high of 18 ahead of those showers. Then 19 and sunshine Wednesday, and somewhere in the 17 to 20 degree range under mainly sunny skies Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. In Nanaimo, again, you're looking at that chance of showers rolling in sort of late morning or around lunchtime and sticking around through the afternoon. Should get some clearing, though, by Tuesday night, and then it's sunshine for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend. Daytime highs, I mean, even with the rain tomorrow afternoon, still close to 20 tomorrow, 19 or 20 on Wednesday, and high teens for Thursday, Friday, with daytime highs into the coming weekend, up around 20 as well. In Victoria, mostly cloudy tomorrow, some showers or periods of rain through the latter half of the day, 8 degrees in the morning. We'll get to about 15 in the afternoon tomorrow, clearing through the day Wednesday, and then sunshine for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Temperatures in the mid to high teens Wednesday, Thursday, and then up around 20 once again for Friday and Saturday. That is your forecast.
Thanks, Josh. Whether it's the current state of the world or the money Ottawa is pumping into defense, Canada's armed forces have not seen this many people lining up to join the military in 30 years. The recruitment level is up 62% from a year ago. CTV's Mike LeCouture on what's really behind the enthusiasm to enlist.
7,310 new members were welcomed into the Canadian Armed Forces last year. The minister credits a newfound nationalism among recruits as the country faces threats from U.S. President Donald Trump of being made the 51st state.
They're very committed to this country. They want to see Canada remain secure and sovereign.
Now, McGuinty added the 20% wage increase for soldiers announced by the Liberal government helps, as do other investments.
They're also seeing on the ground a concomitant investment in material, in new housing, in kit.
Despite the spike in enrollments, the military still remains understaffed by a few thousand troops. Add to that an attrition rate of 8.5%, which makes it more difficult to hit the goal of 71,500 troops by the year 2029. Retention is another obstacle.
The size of the military is increasing, but the size of trained soldiers is decreasing because the training system is not able to catch up with the pace.
The Conservatives lay all the blame on the Liberals, saying it's a symptom of the last decade of neglect on military spending.
Out of the 97 occupations that are in the Canadian Armed Forces, 27 of them are still at critical levels, that they may not even be able to fill those positions over the next 25 years.
Now, the defense minister wasn't as forthcoming with answers when asked about the lack of progress on the purchase of new submarines and fighter jets. But there is a sense that the government wants more industrial benefits for Canada out of those multi-billion-dollar deals. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, Dandelion date. Adam finds out why a man looking for love online is blowing dandelions for the first time. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
See it happen. Send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
107.3 Virgin Radio is Victoria's #1 hit music station. Home of Bailey and Johnny in the morning. Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to 107.3 Virgin Radio everywhere.
Finally, when Adam meets a man blowing on dandelions for the first time, he finds a story about looking for love for the last time on the Sawatsky Sign-Off.
Well, it's never comfortable trying new things.
I've never done this before.
Kyle Herskowian is blowing caution to the wind because he's looking for love online.
Brand new to me, too.
Kyle's here because a couple friends were concerned about the pictures he'd posted on his dating profile.
They didn't believe that I'd find anybody online and that I didn't have any good games.
So, a different friend, Kelsey Wood, agreed to help him take new ones.
To try to open his horizons and meet some new people.
Along with blowing dandelions in a field.
For a up-close, introspective look.
Kyle's posed with balls to show he's sporty, ducks to show he's caring, but then with a blazer.
And a business shot with me talking on the phone, yelling at people.
And that's when this story takes an abrupt turn.
I don't think it would be good for a dating profile.
You see, Kelsey and Kyle are taking all these pictures as a joke to get back at those other friends who didn't believe that he could make a meaningful connection online.
They don't know that I'm actually seeing somebody, so...
Who are you dating?
A girl named Kelsey Wood.
Who he did successfully meet online, who you've already met in this story.
We've only been dating for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And
how's it going so far?
Good.
Yeah. We're in a field together. All of the afternoon.
Laying a foundation of fun together.
It's not about anything other than, enjoying your life and enjoying the little moments together.
I've always just wanted to meet someone that I can laugh with, and I feel like it's been nonstop laughs since we met.
And like blowing those dandelion seeds will likely lead to new plants growing, Kelsey and Kyle hope that using those silly photos to introduce her to his friends will lead to even more laughs blooming.
I hope they one-up us. Totally get us one day.
Yeah, they will.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by Coastal Community Credit Union. Bank happy at Coastal Community Credit Union.
That is it for CTV News Vancouver Island. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night.